And now, preview time. When it comes to entertainment, you can't beat a good film. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello and thank you for tuning in to Erin and Drew's Movie Reviews. Bappa, bappa, mau, mau. My name is Drew.
My name is Erin.
And in case my little musical recitation didn't jog your memory banks, we're going to be talking about Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, who most millennials probably know nothing about, I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
She is making a comeback on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had a show that's kind of available on the Amazons and the Tubies and things like that. Did you recognize my musical career?
Bappa, mau, mau?
Yeah.
That is the song Elvira.
That is the song Elvira by
oh gosh, the Oak Ridge Boys.
the Oak Ridge Boys.
Ha,
Yes,
I
you
got
got it right.
I would have been disowned from my family if I didn't.
I did not even prompt her on that or anything. Yes, that was probably, I want to say that crossed over to like mainstream top 40 in like the early 80s. I was like 5 years old. But I remember it being like a huge thing for like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they kind of disappeared.
We had it on an 8-track tape.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, an 8-track. It's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And
They're bigger than your head. They're like this big.
8-tracks are like this
Well,
big. Come on.
I'm exaggerating, of course, but when you basically now have nothing to hold in front of your face.
That's true.
Unless you're me, I still kind of like to buy CDs once in a while, but I'm old,
albums,
so
yeah.
deal with it. Yeah, we're going to talk about the movie Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which has nothing to do with. I don't think has anything to do with the song. It's just they just happen to have their
the name.
Is it homonyms or homophones, something like that.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Anyway, the movie Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of younger people would know much about Elvira. Even my knowledge is kind of tertiary. I want to say, like, when I was younger, I only knew her from being on, like, a series of, like, commercials for, like, Coors Light beer. Because she used to pitch Coors. I think it was Coors. Maybe it was a different beer.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, but she used to do that, and that's all I really knew her from. But then I come to find later she actually had a show where she was basically a horror host, is what she was. Kind of like if you were to watch Svengoolie now on MeTV, that's basically what Elvira did. They should do like a team-up movie. Like, well, you've got Godzilla vs. Kong, you've got the Snyder Cut. Why not Svengoolie and Elvira?
Perfect.
Don't you think that would be great? That could be like
Yes.
kind of like you put Svengoolie into a movie kind of like this, and they team up and they do goofy things, and right?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And at
Well,
the
it'd be
end,
pretty
Sven
good.
goes back
Pretty
into
good.
his coffin, and people throw rubber chickens at him the whole time. But but this is about kind of sort of autobiographical, kind of, would you say?
No.
No?
Autobiographical for a
Well, in terms of the character, not in like
a character.
Yeah.
A completely fictional character.
Right. Well, there is kind of I don't know, she supposedly, her name is Cassandra Peterson in real life, but she's had this Elvira persona for at least 30 plus years, I would say.
Yeah.
Since the mid 80s at least, if not earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know how far
Early
back it
80s.
actually goes.
I honestly don't know either.
Yeah. But she's aged well. I saw her recently, and she actually looks very, like, she hasn't aged a lot. Of course, maybe that surgery has something to do with that.
She looks fantastic.
Yeah, it is maybe evidenced by the poster. Sorry.
If my eye roll could be audible, that would just be like, oh.
Well, anyway, the movie, she starts out as a horror host in the movie, and the studio she's in really isn't a whole lot different than ours that we're in right now. Actually, it might even be smaller than that because literally, like, you could stick your hand out and that's where the news people are, you know? But sidebar here a little bit. She's in the middle of her show when the movie starts, but do you know the name of the movie that she is hosting at the beginning of the movie, if that makes sense?
I know it's not the thing with two heads, the head with two things. No, the other way around. That was a joke.
The head
in the
with
movie.
two things?
The head with two things. I mean, the thing with two heads.
She's got a head. And she's got two things. Is that not what you were getting at?
That is not what I was getting at.
I'm sorry.
I don't know the movie she was riffing.
It was also on Mystery Science Theater. It had Mr. Airplane in it.
That's helpful.
Peter Graves. Yes. You give up?
I give up.
It is called It Conquered the World. It's not one of the more memorable episodes of MS. Well, I don't think it is, but in the movie, yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
You can see at the beginning of it.
her schlock, though, is like terrible B movies, much
Yeah.
like Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
She's just like, this is worse.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's in Conquer the World, and it maybe coincidence or not, was also produced by Roger Corman, who owns New World Pictures, who made this movie. So I'm pretty sure it's easy to get the rights.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's kind of literally elbowed out of the shot so they can set up for the news. And she's kind of like, she has ambitions to be a Vegas showgirl.
Yes.
Is kind of her thing. And she doesn't really, well, she has an agent there who I forget his name, but he supposedly has a connection, but she doesn't have the cash to do it or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and she needs money when all of a sudden,
$50,000.
you know, you are in line to inherit your, is it aunts or uncles?
Great aunt.
Great aunts.
Great aunt Morgana Talbot.
Yep, fortune. But she has to drive all the way across the country to Massachusetts, which is has a history of hanging witches.
Hanging,
Yeah.
drowning, burning at the stake. They have a history of witches.
Yeah.
Or dealing with people they think are witches.
Yeah. Burning things.
Let's put it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So she
sounds right.
she kind of packs up into her monster mobile or her Dragula or whatever it is. It's basically what it is.
Her boat.
Her boat. And I gotta say, that is a wicked ride.
Right. Oh
It's
my
got
god.
a
This thing's amazing.
the steering wheel has a satanic pentagram in it, and the interior is, what is it? Leopard spots, Dalmatian spots, some kind of spots.
Some kind of spots.
Some kind of spots. Yeah. And she gets to Massachusetts. She has a dog. Oh, she has a dog too, by the way.
She inherits the dog.
Oh, she inherits the dog?
She inherits the dog. She gets a house, a dog, and a book.
Okay. That's right. But she doesn't know where the book is.
Right.
But we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But she gets into town, and automatically people are like, ugh. You know, because everybody there is very white and suburban and kind of boring. Maybe the best way to say it.
Yes.
Yeah, and not the youth definitely don't rule there.
Right.
It's very much an old fogey. We don't like fun. You know, we hate Twisted Sister kind of.
Yeah.
You know, Tipper Gore town.
Town from Footloose.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very similar. Yes.
Yeah.
Only we're funny. Kind of.
Hey, Footloose is hilarious.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Hey, John Lithgow, man, he was great in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Then again, he's good at playing anybody who's a villain. So. And then she's like, so she goes to this reading of her aunt.
Great aunt.
Great aunt. And there's like 4 people there, one of whom is Morgan Shepherd. Well, the actor Morgan Shepherd, who I've seen in some genre films. He was in Doctor Who, which is funny because he played the older version of him and his, I think his son. played the younger and older version of the same character, which was really cool casting. And much like Christopher Plummer, he was cast in Star Trek 6, where he was the prison warden. Also, I think, with an eye patch. Something about Klingons and eye patches, man.
Something.
Yeah, because they didn't really have them until that movie. Now they just, I don't think they've really had them since. But, yeah. No escape here. You know, that was his big line here. No witnesses. Bang, you're dead. But yeah, he's like the, what's the uncle? He's an uncle.
He's a great uncle.
Great uncle.
Uncle Vinny.
Uncle Vinny, yeah. And he's, he kind of gets most of the fortune.
No, he gets nothing.
Oh, he didn't get anything?
He didn't get anything.
But the
Did
thing
you watch this movie?
Well, I forget what he got. But Elvira was complaining about...
Most of the fortune went to the servants, the butler and the maid.
Yeah, right.
Elvira got the book,
dog.
The House and Dog.
And the book.
And Vinny,
But he wants the book.
Her dear brother Vincent receives the remainder of my fortune, which is nothing.
It's been a couple weeks since I
I grew up with this movie.
Okay, well, there
The
you
long
go.
story behind it.
It's kind of like you and Calabas with this little Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
But you got a goad. But he doesn't really know, or she inherits this book, and he's more interested in the book. He'd rather have the book than I think the rest of the nothing.
Right.
But Elvira's like, book, whatever. She doesn't know but he knows that it's a spell book. Yeah.
Her great aunt is a witch.
Yeah.
Very powerful sorceress. Those are Book of Shadows.
We know she died, but they didn't say if she was actually burned or anything.
I think she just died of old age.
Just died of old age.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, and it's a very monstery kind of how Adam's family kind of get up for a house. And Elvira's like, what's there to do in this town? And of course she goes to the bowling alley where she meets a couple of a hunky, I don't know what you call him. What he runs the theater in town, but what's his deal?
I think he's just sort of a...
Because he seems to know the bad waitress who hates...
Or a mechanic, not a mechanic, someone else. Just, somebody who works for, just does odd jobs for everyone else.
Yeah. And I almost had a heart attack watching this scene because there were two goons who I guess you don't really know until later, but they're working for Uncle Vinny. Or maybe he hires them later. I don't remember if they...
I think they work for him, in general.
In general?
Yeah.
Okay, but
they
one
seem
of them,
kind of...
because I'm quite fond of comic books, and one of them is reading a Spider-Man comic, and he grabs it and tears it up, and what are you doing? That is... Because I recognized the cover of that book. It is the issue after, I forget the number now, but it's drawn by Todd McFarlane, who created Spawn. And it's the second appearance, I believe, of the character Venom. Which would be worth some money, so you don't want to tear that book.
Yeah, no.
But of course, he probably doesn't know that. And yeah, so they make a lot of Venom movies now. So yeah, that's kind of worth a few bucks. Yeah. I'll find the number.
You talk about the comic book reading goon have made no mention to the fact that the other guy is Kenickie from Grease.
Yeah, Conway.
Conway, yeah.
Yeah, he was on Taxi.
Yeah.
The TV show, yeah.
Or Kenickie from Grease.
From Grease.
Everybody knows him as
Yeah. Or the prison warden in Star Trek. Oh, that's the other guy. Never mind. No witnesses.
Do you remember which eye had the eye patch?
No, I don't know if him and Plummer had the same eye or if it was a different eye.
Because I know that his eyes is actually fake, so if they covered the wrong one...
Oh, in real life, one of his eyes is fake? More Shepard's?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was his idea because they didn't want him to see the fake eye. Well, when you get
Maybe they put it on the wrong one.
Oh, dear.
Would have been blind on set. Anyways, we've gone off.
When you get to Deep Space Nine, they don't even use eye patches. Martok just has a big scar through his eye. We're really off topic now, but yeah, bowling alley.
Bowling alley.
The goons start harassing Elvira. Hey, honey, or whatever, and then she pours like, was it a beverage on their lap or something? Oh,
whatever they were drinking.
Yeah, whatever they were drinking, which probably was something tasty. And then of course hunky muscle electrician guy comes and says, "Hey, I'll help you," because she's, I don't know, different, because he's kind of seen all. I'm sure he's probably pretty bored with all the ladies in town because they're very boring. Yeah, they're boring. This town was just boring.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very boring. And then you see who's running the show there. It's Edie McClurg. She was in that bad cheerleader movie. Fired Up for like 5 seconds.
For like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't in that movie very long because usually she's kind of a scene stealery kind of. She's in I think she's in just about, maybe not everyone, but on a lot of John Hughes movies like Ferris Bueller and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and all those kind of movies. You still want to talk to Mr. Peters? Ferris Bueller's online too. Yeah, she's great in anything she's in. She's great.
Oh,
yeah, she's perfect as Chastity.
What is her last name?
Chastity something. I forget her name now. She had a great.
Had that cleared up.
Chastity Damon or I forget. But yeah, she basically she's boring.
Yes.
Like everyone else in town is like this.
She wants to make sure that everybody else is boring.
Tipper Gore Wannabe, I think, is kind of what her mantra is there.
We're a nice, wholesome town.
Yes. And then Elvira decides to give her dog a makeover. So to speak, it's a very punk rocky kind of thing. And I forgot that Gronk.
Algonquin.
Gonk. Was the name Algonquin when she got the dog?
Yes.
So she was named after a native tribe?
I guess.
Yeah, that was just
I don't know.
That's a weird name for a dog.
It was an 88.
I've never met a dog named Gonk before, so.
Gonk.
Yeah. So anyway, and she doesn't like the house she's living in either, so she decides to kind of enlist. Well,
she's gonna spruce it up so she can sell it.
Yeah, but
and she spruces it up in the best way.
Yeah, it's very.
We're gonna have this 3 feet of house be pink.
It's probably
this
where
3
they would.
feet of house be green.
This would it would probably be the starting point if the town ever decided to have a gay pride parade.
That would never happen in this town.
No, in this town that would probably never happen. But the house would be great for it.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
It's all kinds of goofy colors and stuff.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Keep all the architecture so it's still that gothic styling, but just color.
Yeah. And there's some of the kids get a little mischievous because, the kids, hey, in a boring town, what do? You try to find exciting things. So they all kind of, what's the new girl up to? So they're kind of checking her out, literally. But eventually she kind of wins them over to come and help her paint the house.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget, is this where now we also learn that the two Goonie guys, or Grease Man and the other guy, work for the uncle? Yeah.
They while she's out, go into her house and just try to find the book by themselves, and Gonk scares him off.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he's a familiar and therefore a shapeshifter. So
that's right.
Goes different sized dogs, and a rat at one point in time with a mohawk.
So that's never really explained though, other than the dog always been that way?
Yes.
But didn't have like a spell cast on him or something?
No, just has always been that way. Gonk was the being that delivered Elvira to the orphanage in the flashback.
Oh yeah, there are flashbacks
with the baby Elvira.
Yeah. And she had the same hairdo and everything.
Yeah, hairdo and makeup entirely on an infant. It is the funniest thing.
It's pretty good.
Good.
Yeah. And then Elvira feels kind of ganged up on him because, everyone else sucks in the town. So, but the only guy who will really listen to her is Muscle Man, who runs the movie theater. And she's trying to raise money, so she wants to screen movies to make money for her Vegas act. Is that right? And she gets the kids, of course, to come in. Of course, the parents don't want them to, but they sneak out anyway, like any good teenager does.
Yep.
Don't sneak out at night, kids. Yeah, don't do it. I say that as an old man. Young man says, "Hey, go for it."
You do you.
But another movie question, though. Do you know the name of the movie she's screening in the theater? This isn't a Corman. I don't think it's a Corman movie anyway.
Okay.
But it's kind of bad in a good way.
It had a giant insect in it, correct?
No.
No? Then
I don't think
know what
so.
I'm thinking of.
I believe, if I remember correctly, this is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh, yes.
Because there were tomatoes in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that one someday. Or not.
I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. It really is a movie.
It certainly is that.
Mm-hmm. But
It's right up there with Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then so she tries to. I guess she's a big fan of the movie Flashdance, and she wants to do this kind of repeat the routine.
Yeah.
That Jennifer Beals did.
Just basically does the routine.
Yeah, except
Lean back, water.
I forget the mean waitress's name. Finds out about it, and she exchanges the gold.
Call her Jill. That's not right.
I don't think it's Jill.
No.
Jean?
Patty.
Patty. Is it Patty?
I believe it's Patty.
Okay. Well, Patty exchanges like the gold glitter with oil. And what does one do in the old days when you want to humiliate someone? You tar them and you feather them.
Yep.
So much for that.
Gets tarred and feathered.
Yeah. And so eventually Uncle Vinny finds his way to the book that he wants. And it was in the floor, wasn't it? Or does Elvira get it out of the floor and then they find it somewhere else?
Elvira finds it in the floor.
Yeah.
Thinks it's a cookbook. Tries a few recipes.
Yeah. She puts like mold and stuff in it. Or is it fungus or what is it?
We don't really know. They all have weird names.
Yeah.
And it's a very strange recipe.
And it looks like moldy guacamole.
It looks gross. Yeah.
It's just not good.
There's worms, I think. It's like
yeah.
And she makes a casserole.
Yeah, and she takes it to the town picnic, which be like, oh, this is delicious, and then they start.
Well, she makes it wrong. The problem is she made it for date night, and it turned into a weird monster that she didn't shove down into the garbage disposal.
Right.
And then she remade it, but she didn't have all the ingredients, so she substituted other things, and it became an aphrodisiac.
The boring people at the picnic got less boring?
Yeah.
Would that be a way to say it?
Yeah, you could say that.
Chastity Pariah.
That's it.
That's her name.
Chastity Pariah.
It just came to me right now. I just thought of it, yeah. Edie Clark, Chastity Pariah. And so they decide, well, Elvira, of course, she's to blame for everything. Doesn't matter if she is or not. She's the culprit. She's the new rock and roll. She's the new whatever.
Everything is gone bad since she came in. She must be a witch. We shall burn.
We must burn her. And then she manages to get out of that. Does the dog free her or the muscle guy?
The
muscle guy tries to free her. I don't remember.
The dog frees her because they tie up the dog to a mini stake, but then it changes to a mouse and runs up and bites off the bonds.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And sometime along the way, the muscle guy gets knocked out.
By the goons?
By somebody.
Somebody?
Maybe a crowd. Possibly a branch. A lot happens. There's lightning. It suddenly becomes a storm.
And what's his face gets
Vinny is evil.
Gets the spell book.
Yeah. and the ring, which is important. We didn't talk about it. Ring is important.
Yeah.
And yet still gets taken down by a high heel shoe.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah, and then Elvira winds up in
forehead.
Vegas doing a dance routine without the tars and the feathers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically it. So
She exchanges tars and feathers for, let's just say tassels.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elvis would be proud. I've been to Graceland. Yeah. So I guess it's time to grade the paper. Erin, what grade do you give Elvira, Mistress of the Dark?
I give this movie, let's see. As much as I want to just put it in the A range because I did grow up with this movie, I do know it has flaws, so I'm gonna say a B plus.
B plus. Okay. I enjoyed this a lot more than I expected to. And for a campy, goofy movie, it's a good way to kill an hour and a half or whatever it is.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was fun. I'm gonna give this a B.
Woo.
Yeah, this is an enjoyable film. I like
Yay.
it a lot. Watch it, please do. Well, I guess that's it for this edition of Erin and Drew's movie reviews. Until then, I am Drew.
I'm Erin.
And Umbapa Mau Mau will catch you later.
Bye.
Giddy up.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
Cable television is the swellest thing they got.